everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome one and all to episode 184 of In Focus Friday, the show where we take a good close look at cool things made of silver and gold. Last week it was the turn of the Royal Mint's Proof White Horse of Hanover's. If you've not seen those, there's a link down in the description below. Very cool coins indeed. This week's episode, though, as you may have guessed, is a rapid fire In Focus Friday because we've recently unboxed a ridiculously large pile of silver from the European Mint as part of the group orders, and these coins are only in my possession for less than 24 hours, so we're doing a bit of pre-filming to get an In Focus Friday rapid style edition done. So I've got 5 different varieties, the 6 coins here on the table. These 2 are actually the same, but I wanted both out so we can see both sides at once. Let us know which of these 5 designs is your favourite. I would be very intrigued to know which is the most popular. I think I know which is going to be the most popular, but I'd be intrigued to find out what the general consensus is. And also let us know if you've been inspired to pick any of these up, because I think they're quite cool, and it's one of the cool things that we like to do as part of these big group orders. So we're going to start with my personal favourite of the entire batch that has come through from the European Mint, and I don't underestimate that. I say this is one of my all-time favourite coins that I've seen in the recent years, if not, well, it's probably not my all-time favourite, but it's certainly within the top 5. There's just too many to choose. And it wasn't on my radar, but somebody had ordered a bunch on the group order, and it is, of course, the Terra 2020 Tokelau. Really, really, really impressed with this. Absolutely glorious design and detail. It's got an underlying kind of theme of environmentalism and harmony within existence of our planet, and that's something I feel quite strongly about, and really very cool to see this design. It's the first of a new series that is going to focus on that kind of environmental side of things. The planet we live on is just so important, and it's really nice to see a coin that's done with that theme in mind. So manufacturer of this is the Pressburg Mint. Really, really impressive in their sort of finish. I think it's a fantastic design and really high levels of detail. You can see here, of course, the globe there, Terra, of course, referring to the globe, the Latin version of that, or at least to the world, the Terra world. And this is a really interesting design choice, because on the reverse, instead of just having the Queen, we have the other side of the globe. So we have their Queenie sinking into the Pacific Ocean, but the globe is there. And for those of you nestled in New Zealand, look, it's a map with New Zealand actually on it. So many times New Zealand is missed out on big globes and maps, but it's actually there. So $5 coin, 1 ounce of silver. It does come at a bit of a premium. It's a premium coin, limited edition of only 20,000. I think the proof... sorry, I don't know if there's a proof version. I'm reading somewhere that they're made to proof standard, but I don't know whether this means that this is a proof. I think it's just the BU version. Really nice though. I'm enjoying it, and I've definitely decided to pick some of these up for myself from the European Mint. So I'm really liking it. I love that there's a kind of, there's the compass with the all of the degrees around the side of the coin as well. It's just a very well made, very attractive coin, I have to say. There's not a great deal much more we can say about that. I suppose one of the only things that I could have wanted more would be a little bit more texturing and detail on the continents. If we could have had, the Himalayas exemplified on the Asia map there, or some of the different parts of the world, that would have made it just super, super good. But as it is, I think it's really good. Quality's there, supplied in capsules. What more can you want? Very, very cool. So now, because it's an In Focus Friday Rapid Edition, we have to move on. Let's move on now to the Wedgetailed Eagle. It's the next one I have open on my computer in the background. So Wedgetailed Eagle from the Perth Mint, really high quality coins, well, as always from the Perth Mint. Wedgetailed Eagles have been going, I think since 2014, and it's a US Mint engraver who've, I believe, John Mercanti and the Perth Mint. So it's kind of a cross mint project, I suppose, but it's a series which has always garnered a lot of really good quality kind of coins, and people have been collecting them, not necessarily as synonymous with things like the kookaburras or the koalas or things like that, but they're certainly gaining some momentum and gaining some premiums, and I think they're a pretty cool coin. So here we have the 2020 edition of the Wedgetailed Eagle. Really, really good detail on that. Nice to see the amount of detailing going into the design of it. Got the little P for the Perth Mint up there. Perth Mint, really good with their designs generally. Again, I'm going to say this is a little criticism. We've just got Queenie on the back here. It'd be interesting to see some of the designs flowing through onto the side, but you can kind of understand the tradition of it being coin only. So yeah, I mean, I think it's nice. I don't think it's necessarily one for me. as a collector, but I do appreciate them. Every time I've seen them come through from the group orders, I always eye them up and think, yeah, that's a really, really nice looking coin. But I'm just not really into the Eagles, so to speak, so it's not necessarily going to set my heart on fire, making me go and purchase them. Next up, we have the 2020 Panda. So this is a really nice looking Panda. It's one of the better Pandas that I've seen over the last couple of years. 30 grams of 999 silver, so not an ounce of silver. They've changed that over the last couple of years ago. Can't remember the exact year that they changed from 1 ounce to 30 grams. Just to be awkward, I suppose. But there you go, there is the Panda, really cute looking Panda, nice levels of detail, like the contrast between the frosted and the non-frosted parts of the coin. Pandas are an odd one because they have a really high mintage. I believe it's like, I think it's over a million, I think, as a mintage. I'm not even seeing numbers on some of these dealers' websites, so it's hard to know exactly, but they do have very, very high mintage numbers. Yet they are always really, really popular, and they also have really high premiums. They are undoubtedly one of the most synonymous collector items out there, and there's a lot of people who will focus only on Pandas. So it's a really interesting coin group to have. There's the other side with the Temple of, I think that's the Temple of Heaven, I can't remember exactly. But there we go, there is the 2020 Panda. They are often very easily faked, and there's a lot of, Alibaba million fake pandas out there. So if you are going to be buying them, be very careful. Make sure you buy them from reputable sources, or if you do buy them, make sure you test them. You can often tell very quickly whether or not something is a fake panda or not. But there is the 2020 edition of the Panda if you were curious as to what that might look like. Next up is the only tiny bits of gold that were in the group order from this time round, and that's simply because it's just cost efficient to buy gold from the UK at the moment. 2 tiny maple grams. Now, I have included these in this Rapid Fire and Focus Friday because it's really interesting to see such small coins made quite so well. I don't know how close I can get this to the camera and it focuses. Probably about that. We're literally like quite close to the lens here. So it's a gram of gold. In fact, it's 2 grams of gold connected together in these little assay cards. These fractional gold coins often come at quite high premiums, and that's definitely something to factor in if you are looking to purchase grams of gold, maple grams of gold. They do make quite cool little gifts to give, though. I would not necessarily say that they are the best things to purchase in terms of buying gold. Of course, if you are on a budget and you want to only buy gold, you can probably get more cost-effective premium gold if you saved up and waited to buy, but then the price points might change. What I do like is that they are in these little assay cards. I have seen grams of gold that have been sold just in tiny little coin capsules, and those would be very hard to keep hold of. You can see the thin nature of this coin. It's really very thin indeed. So it's nice to see that. Throwing them everywhere, and of course they're protected if they're in these little assay cards. But I'm not a huge fan of them. I think if you are going to get fractional 1 gram gold stuff, I prefer like the Horias gram bars, but I don't know, they're really quite attractive, and I thought it would be worth including them. Let me know your thoughts on the Canadian maple grams. One thing I don't like is they're just slightly off centre. Can you see? So if you put it at an angle, then the coin is centred, but right there, they're slightly off centre. I don't know whether we could wiggle it within. I don't think they move. But anyway, there's the maple grams. Last up is the Vivat Humanitas coin, which is a very interesting one as well. Now, have I got that one open? Yes, I have. So this is a really interesting design coin, and it's celebrating one of the phrases from Mahatma Gandhi, I believe. And you must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. And Vivat Humanitas' series points out the idea of humanity, and that it keeps on advancing and delivers impressive achievements despite all the conflicts and differences. And, the world is going through quite a tumultuous time at the moment, there is no doubt. And one thing that hopefully will see us through is the strength of humanity and us going forward into the rest of the year 2000s with hopefully us all having a pretty happy existence. So I just thought it was an interesting coin to have and to show here. Bit of a premium item. It's not got a huge garnering of following. It's got a lot of, nice aesthetics to it, I have to say. I like it quite a lot. But when you put it next to the Terra coin, which in a way has a similar kind of message in terms of, humanity and harmonious existence, I suppose, I think I prefer the Terra coin every time, but nevertheless, it is a very cool item indeed. Again, made by the Pressburg Mint. So that one is comparable directly to the Terra coin, as they're both made by the same one. And in a certain way, you can kind of see the design similarities in it, which I think is quite interesting. And mintage of this one is 20,000. So again, a nice low mintage. Premium item though, not actually too bad at the moment. They're selling on the European Mint website for €19.59, so actually relatively low premiums in the grand scheme of things, certainly less than the Terra coins, which is interesting. Maybe that is an indication though of how popular they are or would be. So there we go, that is the rapid fire edition of In Focus Friday. Let me know which of these you like the most down in the comment section, or rank them 1 to 5. For me, we're going to go number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 for my order of preference of these. There we have them. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this rapid fire edition of In Focus Friday, then let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see videos from us in the future, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you want to find out more about the group orders where these coins came from, there's a link down below to the Silver Forum thread where we organise all of these. And if you want to see a real overview of what everybody's ordered as part of this group order, then you can head on over to our channel on Sunday, and I'll give you all a quick sneak preview. Look over there. We've got it all laid out and ready to be processed and sent out to all the customers. So lots of work ahead of us for me and Mrs. Backyard Bullion. So there we go. That is this week's edition of In Focus Friday, Rapid Fire Edition. Thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic weekend ahead. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.